Oh yeah, I forgot I was meant to be playing this game. Okay, that's a lie, I didn't. I'm just very bad at, like, actually recording things, but let's be honest, you all know this at this point. This channel lives in a permanent state of undead. Hey there guys, my name is Nix and welcome back to Higurashi, Chapter 2, Watanagashi, When They Cry, featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. One of those was not actually in the title, but you know what, you just gotta throw some memes in here every now and again. I did look at what I did last time because, let's be honest, it's actually been for fucking ever. And, yeah, we basically sussed out that the two Sonozaki sisters are just that. Two and sisters. Speaking of, let's go talk to one of them in the tooltip that I had because, you know, it's just tradition at this point. We gotta do the tooltip thing. Hold on, I need to look something up real quick. Yeah, I just wanted to double check something real quick because I just, like, obviously because it's been like forever since I've been here, I wanted to check what tip I need to read, if there were any. And, this says it hasn't been a while. And the last thing I remember it saying is, it hasn't been long enough. Now, I don't know if that's the game confusing itself, or the game's trying to confuse me, or there aren't any, yeah, there aren't any more, so I think the game's just confusing itself. I'm gonna tell that to myself, just to make me feel better. Really can't remember what anyone sounds like, so bear with me. I also need my emergency water because I am only just recovering from being ill, ruining the illusion that the inscription and everything else was recorded in advance, and I'm just bad at editing.
Stop saying it's been a while. We've seen each other every day up until yesterday, haven't we?
Also can't remember if it's enter or a spacebar. It's a spacebar. It's not. That hides the thing. I could have sworn it was enter. It is, and it just didn't work the first time. Either that or I hit shift, I don't know. Whatever, if you say so, we'll go with that. Someone from Shion's house came to get me in a station wagon. I had initially refused, but Shion insisted. So both my bicycle and I ended up stuffed in the car. Said car was currently driving across the single bumpy road leading to Hinamizawa. For goodness sakes. Shion was at Mion's level at least, or maybe even better actor. Either way, no matter what questions I pressed her with, she'd slip out of them like an eel. Still, you two look so alike. If you tied your hair back like Mion does, would you look exactly like her?
Who knows? That's probably what would happen.
That's foreshadowing.
We're identical twins, through and through. In the past, we could just change our clothes and no one would be the wiser. I remember we'd swap places at every opportunity and fool a whole lot of people.
The middle-aged driver wearing a black suit heaved a heavy sigh, like he were a butler. Got it, they're loaded.
What's wrong, Kasai? That was a pretty deep sigh.
Excuse me, I was just thinking that you haven't changed. You could see many years of hardship on that man's face through the rearview mirror.
Anyway, Kei-chan, your house was around here, right? Kasai doesn't know much about Hinamizawa aside from the road that goes to the Sonozaki's main house. If you leave it to him, he'll take you all the way to Yagochi?
I am out of practice, it would appear. My ability to read Japanese has gone so far through the floor. I don't want that. Excuse me, could you stop at the narrow road at the next right? I'll walk from there. He stopped the car at the desired place. The driver, Kasai-san, got my bike out of the trunk for me. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for showing me home today. Was it Kei-san? Your name, that is. Holy shit, this man looks both nothing like I expected and everything like I expected at the same time. I think it's just the haircut I was not prepared for. Yes. Must be having various difficulties, but I believe she will grow tired soon, so please endure things until then. He gave me a deep, deep look of sympathy. This guy has definitely been dealing with the Sonozaki sisters ever since they were little kids. However, like Mion-san, she's a kind person at heart. So that means she'll be as much as a bother as Mion, right? The man's face froze in a smile, his reply lost. Hey, back me up here!
Bye, Kei-chan. We'll see each other again soon. And say hi to my sister for me, too. Maybe I'll start going to Hinamizawa tomorrow.
Don't you dare. If you transferred in, I'll transfer out to a school in Okinomiya.
Wow, that was really mean, Kei-chan.
A short beep of the horn. The man gave a little wave to me from the driver's seat. And the car withdrew into the dark night roads, leaving dust in its wake. Man, this entire day made no sense. I ran into Mion while I was with Shion, and the former's expression, like a pigeon shot with a pellet gun, had finally begun to make a strong impression on me. Well, now I guess we're not playing mind games anymore, or at least, not yet. Yeah, apparently that's either I'm being dumb or, you know, like, this just is renamed somewhere in translation. And I, don't know what to say about that other than, let's go back to me in the present. Let's see how he's doing. Probably not great, because it's been a while. I should also point out, as I just cut back in here, A, I'm not going to be very good at reading, because let's be honest, I haven't done it for a while. B, I'm just coming off the back of being ill, so if you hear me, like, sniveling, I apologize. But, it's like, I can't get away from it. It's like, in the summer, it's hay fever, in the winter, it's cold. Hell, I don't even know what happens in spring and autumn. I think I just, like, pass out and don't record anything. It's funny because it's mostly true. Anyway. Oh yeah, we have a school life. And friends. Holy shit, I forgot what that was like. Why is the music so sad? The next day. It was a strange day, where Mion was desperate to regain her composure. Every time our eyes met, she'd say that she had something to do, or that she had to use the washroom and run off. Unable to just watch, Reina was taking care of her the entire time. Don't leave me with the lollies. You left me with the fucking lollies. Okay, here we go.
Mion-san, she's acting totally strange today.
I know the whole story, but it's hard to explain.
There are times when girls are emotionally unstable. It's best to just leave her alone.
Huh? Turning around, I saw Reina calling me from the hallway. I wonder what that was.
Keiichi-kun! Over here! Over here!
What is it, calling me over like this? Is it a secret?
It is... It looks like it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Mii-chan seemed pretty broken, but I somehow got her working again.
よく直せたな。
I'm surprised you managed it.
一体どうやって？
How did you exactly...
テレビと同じ。
Same way I did with the television. Oh, don't tell me you smacked her on the back of the head until she functioned.
斜め45度くらいの角度で。
Just come in at a 45-degree angle and yeah! Saying that, she made a chopping motion. You know I can't tell if you're joking or not, right?
明日からは大丈夫だから。
She'll be fine by tomorrow.
だけど、ケイチ君にもお願いしたい
There's
こと
something
が
I
あ
want
る
you to do,
の。
Keiichi-kun.
悪気はないんだが。
I didn't mean to do anything
な
wrong,
ぜか
but
罪の意識もある。
I still feel guilty.
何でも聞くぞ。
I'm listening.
わ
Thanks.
かる。みーちゃんはね、昨日までの数日間のこと。
Michan's just gonna pretend like the last few days never happened. Never happened, huh? I see. Well, that's one way to run from it.
だからね、
So you see,
ケイチ君もなかったことにしてあげて。
could you pretend to?
それでみーちゃん、
And Michan
いつ
can
も
go
通
back
り
to
だから。
normal. You mean pretend that I almost said Sonozaki-san. That doesn't work when there's two of them. You just pretend that Shion doesn't exist. It's gonna be a little bit difficult considering, she thinks I'm her boyfriend. Oh dear.
そんな簡単なことで本当に大丈
Just
夫なの
doing
か？
something as simple as that? Is that really gonna be okay?
お願いだから、みーちゃんの心の整理がつく
Until
まで。
Michan gets her
そっと
feelings
しておいてあ
settled,
げて
just
よ。
go with it.
わかったよ。
Okay, I got it. Even though I shouldn't have been at fault, for some reason I felt guilty. The one at fault here was the one who was pretending about the entire situation, who knew about the entire situation and pretended to be Mion for an entire day. Shion. Ugh. But she never once said that she was Mion. Ugh. What am I supposed to be angry at? Seeing me stomping the ground impatiently, Reina giggled.
でも、ケイチ君も分かったでしょ。
You knew as well.
みーちゃんにも可愛いとこ
Michan
ろがあ
has
る
some
んだっ
cute
て。
things about her. Reina talked in a calm voice as her hair rustled in the wind.
ああ、
Yeah,
退屈しないやつだということが分かった。
I know that she'll never let it be boring.
よかった。
Good. Following this curt reply, Reina looked up to the sky and stretched.
ケイチ君がそれに気づいてくれれば、この数日間の出
As
来
long as
事
you
は
realize that,
すぐに笑い
Keiichi-kun,
話に
these
なる
past
んだ
few
よ。
days will soon be nothing more than a story to laugh about. Copying Reina, I also began to stretch as I looked at the sky. The clear sky towered into the distance.
今日は部活も何もなし。
There's no club activities or anything today.
今日だけは
I'm sorry,
申し訳
Keiichi-kun,
ない
but
けど、ケイチ君。
just for today, can
旅
you go
行
home
は
by
一人でいい
yourself?
かな。明日からは元通り
May
だ
I
か
be
ら。
back to normal by tomorrow?
okay.
So, just for today? Okay? If all it took to go back to normal was to leave Mion alone for today, then it was an easy decision to make.
分かったよ。
Got it.
ミオンに面と向かって言えな
I
いから。
can't say it directly to
レナに
Mion,
言ってた。
so I'll say it to you.
なんだか申し訳ないな。
I still feel
I'm-
kinda guilty about it. So I want to apologize.
うーん。
No.
元はといえば、
The root
ケ
of
イ
the
チ
problem
君
was
が無
Keiichi-kun
神経
saying
なことを
something
言うからいけな
insensitive,
かったんだよ
right?
ね。これに懲り
So
て、
if you
少し
learn
はデ
anything
リ
from
カシーっ
this,
て
you
も
need
の
to
を身
look
に
a
つける
bit
ん
into
だよ。
gaining a sense of delicacy.
へいへい。
Right, I'll try. That day was the shortest day of my life. Reina was talking to Mion while accompanying around the entire time. It looked like a really fun conversation, so reflexively I thought about joining in, but I'd made a promise not to. It seemed that Mion was also trying her best to ignore me. So likewise, I did my best to ignore her. For the first time in a while, I ate lunch alone. Mion and Reina ate theirs by themselves. As I let out a sigh in my ashen mood, Rika-chan came over and patted me on the head.
ケイチもミーもいっぱいいっぱいお勉
Both
強し
Keiichi
ま
and
したで
me
す
learned a
ね。
whole lot. I'd never say it like that. It made it sound like we were having romantic problems, and I didn't like that one bit. Hopefully the teacher wouldn't notice and call us to the staff room after school or something.
きっと圭一は素敵な大人になれますですよ。
I'm sure that Keiichi will grow up to be a wonderful adult.
You know, yeah, if we ignore that thing that happened at the end of chapter 1 where I kind of, you know, died.
なでなで。
Pat, pat.
リカちゃんはお勉強家だからすごい素敵な大人になれそうだ
Rika-chan
な
is the studious type, so maybe you'll grow up to be an amazingly wonderful adult.
もちろんなのですよ。
Of course.
僕は大人になったらす
When
ご
I
い
grow up,
す
I'll
ごい
be
のです
super amazing.
あら、
Hi!
私も大人になった
When
ら
I
すご
grow
い
up, I'll be an
元気に
amazing
なるん
lady,
です
you
よ
know?
さとこはいくつになっても
No matter how old you'll get, you'll still be a brat. I can put money on that.
なんです
What did you say?
As Satoko snapped her... Oh, hello. I was about to say I was not prepared for that one. Was not prepared for the auto advance. As Satoko snapped her fingers, a wash basin fell from above, hitting me squarely in the head. What do you think you're doing, Sadako? Are we just fighting now? Is that what we're doing? Are we just punching children? I mean, it's only because it's Satoko, but I'm down with this. It was the day I could thoroughly appreciate the value of having friends. As we beat the shit out of each other because, you know, I guess it's just what friends do. You verbally abuse each other and only occasionally physically abuse each other. I'm assuming this is the day afterwards. Well, hopefully everyone's got their shit in gear. Just reading that sentence gives me, like, horrific, like, thoughts. Today was Saturday, so school ended in the blink of an eye. There was a brief moment I forgot Japanese kids go to school on a Saturday, and I'm like, that sounds like hell. That sounds like a fate worse than death. And believe me, I've nearly died a couple of times in my life, so I know that ain't good. Really felt good to go home with the sun so high in the sky. On any other day, our club would have been up to mischief during our ample after-school time. But today, Rika-chan had a rehearsal for tomorrow's Watanagashi to go to.
リカちゃんはどんな調子
How is that going, Rika-chan?
練習はバッチリ
Do you have it down in practice?
去年よりは頑張りますです。
I'll try harder than last year.
去年は終わった後、
You were so exhausted and sweaty after last year's ceremony.
I almost forgot that I need to do this voice for Mion. Holy shit. Again, massively out of practice.
今年はもっともっと
She
様に
looked
なって
far
ま
more
すわ
fit for the role this year.
特訓の成果
Please,
ご
look
期
forward
待
to the
をさせ
fruits
て
of her
です
training.
The Watanagashi festival that everyone had been talking about was tomorrow, wasn't it? The festival being in June felt a little early to me, but the onset of summer came quickly this year, so it fit the image of a summer festival pretty well.
じゃあ僕たちは失礼し
Okay,
ますです。明日
we'll be off then.
を楽しみに
Look forward
なさい
to
ませ
tomorrow.
それでは
And good day to you
です
all.
わ。
Satoko and Rika-chan waved to us energetically and then left.
そういえば聞いてなかったんだけど祭り
You know, I
会場ってどこ
never
なんだ
asked. Where is this festival happening anyway?
この辺って祭りのでき
I
そうな
don't
場所なんてあ
remember
ったっけ
there being anywhere around here that seems suited for hosting one.
フルデ神社でやるんだよ。
They do it at the Furude Shrine.
ほら、以
We
前
went
に
there
みん
for
な
a
でお
walk
散
one
歩
day,
した時に
remember?
行ったでしょ。見晴らしの良かったところ
It。was that place with a really good view.
I vaguely remember it, let's be honest. Alright, I remember. There was a shrine all the way up on the hill, wasn't there? It seemed far too grand for Hinamizawa.
神社には立派な集会所とかもあって、老人会の
There's a
カ
great
ラオケ
meeting
と
hall
か
in the shrine
修理
too.
サークルの会合
The
と
older
かを
people
時
gather
々
there
やっ
and
て
sing
たからね。
karaoke or practice calligraphy from time to time.
単なる神社というよりは、
It's more like a recreational facility than a simple shrine.
なるほどね
I see.
それなら立派なのも納得。
I guess it makes sense that it looks so grand then.
みーちゃんちも今日の設営にはお
Mion,
手
is
伝
your
いに
family
来る
gonna
の？
help us set up today?
うん
Yep,
男手がいるか
I
ら
have
ね
male hands for that.
町から親類が
Most of our
大勢
relatives
手伝い
come
に
from
来るよ
town to help.
Male hands, huh? Well, I mean, I guess I have nothing to do at home today, so...
俺みたいのが飛び入りで参加するとかえって邪魔
Would
に
it
な
be a
る。
problem if I squirmed my way in there to help out too?
え
Huh?
ケイちゃん手伝いに来てくれ
You
る
wanna
の？
help us, Kei-chan?
迷惑なら行かねえよ。
Not if it'll bother you all.
単なる興味だからさ。
I was just kind of interested. We had bond dances and other festivals in the town I used to live in, but I didn't even know where they took place, much less wanted to help. Oh, bond dances must be that thing that the Japanese kids do where they like build bonfires and dance. I was like, what the fuck is a bond dance? Sounds mildly suspect. You could say that I had absolutely no connection to the region. Having come to Hinamizawa though, it really made me feel like this place was a home that I'd returned to. Before I knew it, I harbored a little interest in the small community activity of preparing for a festival the day before.
ケイチくん頑張れるかな？
I wonder if you'll be able to, Keiichi-kun.
テントを立てたり
There's a lot of
マイ
building
ク
tents
を並べ
and setting up chairs.
Oh, come on, I can do that. That ain't that hard. They had foldable chairs in 1984, right?
たり結構重労働って聞いて
I
るよ
hear it's pretty hard and physical labor.
別に俺一人でやるわけじゃ
I
ない
mean, I
よ。
wouldn't be doing it alone, right?
みんなでやればき
The
っと
more
早い
hands
ぜ
we have, the faster it'll go. Mion looked happy to hear that, but at the same time, her expression was complex, tinged in hesitation. Reina gave her the last push for me.
じゃあ決定だね
It's decided then.
行ってきなよケイ
You
チ
should
くん
go for it, Keiichi-kun.
みーちゃんは
He's all yours,
ビシコ使
Mi-chan.
ってあげてね
Put him through the ringer.
レナの推薦じゃ仕
Well,
方な
I
い
can't argue with a recommendation from Reina.
じゃあさ
Okay
だった
then.
らラフな
Go
格好で
home first,
神社に
put
来
on
て
some
よ
work clothes, and come to the shrine.
汗拭き用のタオルも
Oh,
あるといいかも
you
ね
might want to bring a towel to wipe your sweat too.
よし来た。
Got it!
俺こう見えて
I
も
may look scrawny, but I'm actually quite like breaking a sweat under the hot sun. That's the most un-me sentence I've ever said.
せいぜい腰を痛めないようにね
Careful you don't hurt your back, okay?
じゃあおじさんはこの辺で
Right, enough of my old man spiel.
私も着替えたらすぐに
I'll
神
go
社
to
に
the
行くから
shrine too as soon as that changed.
みーちゃんも頑張ってね
Mi-chan, do your best too.
バイバイ
Oh, that's adorable. English. Mion waved vigorously to us and left. As far as I could tell from her gallant retreating figure, she seemed to have recovered from the weak state she had yesterday.
女の子は切り替えが早いんだから
Girls are quick to get over things.
もうみーちゃんも大丈
Mi-chan's
夫だよ
already fine.
うん。
Right.
あれだけ綺麗に切り替えてくれる
The
と。
switching back to normal so cleanly
Yes.
really makes it easy for me to talk to her.
でも面白かったでしょ
It was kind of funny though, wasn't it?
シンデレラみたいって
Kind of like
いうのかな
Cinderella.
魔法が解けたらもう
you
会
can't
えない
beat
ってところが
You can't meet her anymore once the magic wears off.
Raina began to giggle a fair bit in amusement. Did she like this sort of thing? Incidentally, me going along with her gave me a weird, hard to describe feeling. Did I turn myself into a plaything, or did they do it for me?
そんなに面白いなら、レナももう一人の自
If you
分を
think
演
it's
じれ
so
ばいいじゃん
funny, then you should try pretending to be a different Raina too.
面白そう
Yeah,
だ
that
ね
sounds like fun.
じゃあケイチ君
Keiichi-kun,
は
what kind of Reina would you want to meet?
Just not the one that chases me down the road with a hatchet, if you could mind. Like, I'll take any other choice.
アイドル真っ青のルックスと、俺の言うこと何でも確実に聞く器量よして頼む。
Yeah, I forgot Keiichi was a boy. Also, I've not read the word knockers in like actual... I actually don't think I've ever read it, I've just heard it. I haven't heard that word in like years. What the actual shit? Also, how big a bus size is 90? Like, I don't understand, okay? I don't know. I don't have a frame of reference. It's not something I discuss with my very limited pool of female friends. Yeah, I was just humming and ahhing. That pool is very limited. I'm with a bust size of at least 90. I don't even, like, again, this means nothing to me. And every time I say that phrase, I just want to go, oh, Vienna afterwards. Why am I like this? Huge knockers that you're okay with me touching. No. No, just stop.
I can't do that.
料理上手でお昼のお弁当を作ってくれて朝は迎えに来てくれて
She kind of already does this one, right? She'd be great at cooking and making me lunch and come to see me in the mornings.
それいつもやってる。
I do that already.
I was gonna say, I thought she did that already. I pull Reina's head into a tight grip and then start to pet it.
竜宮レナなんだろ
You're Reina Ryugyu, right?
レイナじゃなくてレナ
Reina, not Reina. What the fuck does that mean?
だからレナはいつまで
So
もレ
you
ナの
just
まん
stay
ま
as
で
Reina forever. Got it?
ありがとう。
Thanks.
お祭りのお手伝い頑張って
Have
ね。
fun helping set up the festival.
おう明日
You got it.
祭り
Let's
で会
meet
おう
up
な
tomorrow. I got changed right away, slinging a towel around my neck like Mion suggested, and set off to the shrine. I was about to say, this looks like a very nice shrine, but I don't have many frame of references for shrines. Like, now that I think about it, the only frame of reference I have is Lukako's shrine from Steins Gate. Which, holy shit, that feels like such a long time ago now. I should really get around to reading Chaos Child. At the shrine, there were more people than you'd imagine even live in Hinamiza were there. All cordoning off areas and setting up tent frameworks, chatting amongst themselves as they did so. Alright, where's Mion? The liveliness of the throng didn't make it easy to look for her. I searched around as if I already worked there, and suddenly the principal called out to me. If it isn't my Barakun! Interesting. Have you come to help with the Watanagashi setup?
え
Hello?
何か
Yes, I
お手
was
伝い
just
できない
wondering
かなって思いま
if
して
there was anything I could help with.
首相な心がけで
How commendable your attitude is.
存分に汗を
Feel free to sweat to your heart's content. Yeah. Spurred on by the principal, I came upon a group of people setting up tents.
ありゃ前
Oh,
原の
what's
兄ちゃんじゃ
this?
ねえの
It's my Bara-chan.
ひょっとして
Did you come all this way to help us?
え
I hadn't found Mion yet, but I suppose I'd just get in her way if I ran into her.
うっす
Yeah,
手伝いに来ました
I'm here to help.
よろしくお願いします
Just tell me where you need me.
若いのは元気があっていいね
Too young one to have all the vitality.
ほら
Yeah, grab some work gloves.
テントは組んだことあ
Ever
る
built a
かい
tent before? Only the shitty small ones, but I guess it's not a no.
いえ初めてです
Nope, never. God damn it, Keiichi. Delighted in teaching a new skill to someone younger, plenty of people happily taught me all sorts of things.
じゃあ兄ちゃんは
Okay, kid.
天幕
Go
の
inside
内
the
側に
tent and
入
tie
って
up just
天
the
骨の紐だけ
just the
結ん
cords
で
for the top.
結んだら足を立
After
て
that,
て
we'll stand it up and tie the rest of
結
them.
ぶからな
蝶々結びでいいんですよね
Butterfly knots are okay, right?
よいしょ
There and there.
結んだか
All done?
立てるぞ
We're standing it up.
い
One,
っせー
two, three.
の
What was once nothing more than a collapsed tent was raised on 4 splendid legs before my eyes in mere moments. Whoa. Seeing it put together like this is actually pretty moving.
ほれほれ
Come on, no time to stare and wonder.
まだ
Got
ま
a
だ
lot
たく
more
さん
to
ある
do.
んだからなトラックにテントを積んであるから
We packed the
ここま
tents
で
into
持って
the
きな
truck, so go get them from there.
重いから二人でや
They're
るよ
heavy, so take someone with you.
大丈夫っすよ俺こう
I'm
結
good.
構
I may
力
look
ある
pretty
から
scrawny, but I'm actually pretty strong.
お
What? They look light enough, so I thought they were... But they were surprisingly heavy. That's why I told you to have someone help. Come on, said the man, lifting it up with a grunt and taking it under his arm. Either I'm weak or these old guys have superhuman strength. Let's go. You're the youngest one here, so we're gonna make you sweat for it. Do your best. Beer after work is the best. I'm a minor? Exactly. That's why we don't tell the police, Keiichi. Don't you get it? There's no one's gonna question it if you're up in the mountains drinking. We don't have mountains in England, so we just used to do it in fields. But again, no one questions you if you just don't tell the police. It's fine, believe me. England has a problem, debatably, but that's by the by. Sweat dripped from my body. I've been fully and completely absorbed in helping them. I would never have thought that cold barley tea from the Women's Society could taste this delicious.
You're so young. Make sure you drink a lot.
Thank you. It was then that I realized a crowd had formed near the shrine a ways off. When I took a closer look, I saw a girl dressed in a shrine maiden garb, and a handful of old men looking like they were preparing for the ceremony together. Is that Rika-chan? Hey, Rika-chan! Do your best! I shouted and it seemed like she heard me. Rika-chan, positively exploding with vitality, answered with a smile. The older guys with me watched Rika-chan as well, with distant gazes.
Rika-chan.
Chama? That's a new one on me. Don't drop these new suffixes on me. I've only prepared for so much.
Rika-chan sure is doing a great job. She seems far more used to this than she did last year.
The old lady who gave me the tea clasped what looked like prayer beads in her hands and said,
Rika-sama! We thank you! We thank you!
And just like that began to respectfully pray to her. Huh? I just remembered that they called it the Furude Shrine. Wasn't Rika-chan's full name Rika Furude? The man standing next to me answered my question. That's right. Rika-chama's Furude clan is ancient and honorable, and worshipped Oyashiro-sama. I need to remember how to pronounce this name. Oyashiro-sama for generations. Huh. I'd always gotten the feeling she wasn't quite your average person, but it turns out she was from an esteemed family. After her father, who was the shrine priest, died the year before last, she's really doing her best to learn the rituals. I wish the priest could have been here to see how wonderfully she'd grown up. Wasn't the priest, like, one of the people who died in the suspicious incidents? I feel like I remember that from one of the, like, tips from chapter 1, but I don't know, it's been this fucking long, it's been that long, I can't remember. What? Rika-chan's father passed away? Okay, break is over. Let's get the chairs we're not using back to the gym in Okinomiya. Aki-san, pull the truck around here and take a few people with you. Alright, Maibara-kun, let's get to work on one last job. Yeah. You're gonna make me do more work? I can't tell if they know if I'm a minor or not, but the older men all cheer me on, encouraging me to do my best, and that the beer will be great. And it fucking will. Just believe them and do the work.
Kei-chan, working hard, I see.
I passed by Mion. She was carrying a big cardboard box. It looked like she was in the right in the middle of working as well. Judging by the sweat seeping into her shirt, it seemed I wasn't the only one with his hands full. Yeah, I'm working my ass off. You work hard too. The beer's gonna be great. I don't know, something about every laugh just makes me feel a little terrified. Apart from Reina's cute giggle. That somehow still remains to be cute. We were worked to the bone until the sun began to set and it started cooling off. I swear to God, they better let me have the beer, or I'm gonna kick off. It was soon full-fledged night, and the clear sound of the Higurashi eased the moderate pain I felt. The older guys began their night before drinking party in their tent a fair bit off, causing quite a ruckus. The shrine grounds, on the other hand, had turned into a lonely road, tickled by the cool evening breeze, despite being so festive just a little while ago. The wind felt good. I leaned on one of the stone guardian dogs at the front of the shrine. I gave my legs a good stretch as I let my mind wander, and suddenly a paper cup filled with barley tea was thrust before me.
Kei-chan, お疲れ様.
Kei-chan, great work.
はい、麦茶です.
Here's some tea for you.
お、気が利くな。
You're so considerate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Her voice sounded exactly the same, but it somehow felt different.
あ、お前は。
Wait, you're...
どうも。
Hey,
シオンです。
it's Shion.
気が利いているのはシオ
Don't
ン
go
の方。
giving me on all the credit.
聞いてないのがミオンの方
She
で
isn't
すので、
considerate
お
after all.
間違いなきよ。
Don't get us confused, okay?
シオン。
Shion, you little...
ここであったが。
Now that I've caught you, you're not getting away! Oh, God. Maybe she is the terrifying one. Or maybe they're both terrifying and I'm being paranoid.
ケイちゃんが勝手に勘違
It
い
was
した
your
んですよ。
mistake, Kei-chan.
私は初め
I
から
never
シオ
said
ン
I
とし
was
か名
anyone
乗って
other
ま
than
せん
Shion.
し。
それを言われると弱い。
I guess I can't argue with that.
そうそう。
That's
お
right.
姉に
You're
すら
no
かな
match
わ
for
な
my
い
older
ケイちゃん
sister,
が
so I can't
私
let
に
you be
か
a
なうわ
match
け
for
ない
me
ですから
either.
ね。それより麦茶
Anyway, your tea.
ぬるくなっちゃいますよ
It's。going to get warm.
Ugh.
もう機
Come
嫌
on,
直して
please
くだ
cheer
さい。
up.
だからこれ
I'm trying
仲
to
直
make
り
it
の
up to you
麦
with
茶
this
ってこ
tea.
とで。
It's gonna take a bit more than fucking tea, I'll tell you this, Shion. Well, she did come all this way here to give it to me. I guess I'll accept it. I took the cup and downed it in one gulp. Then suddenly I screamed. I heard a loud shout and it got stuck in my throat.
今度はどっちだ。
Which one is it this time?
本物のミオンか。
Is it the real Mion?
シオン
Shion!
あら、なんでまた
Why are you hanging out with Kei-chan again?
お姉と違って、
Because
私は
spoon
気配
like
り
you,
とか
I'm
できる
very
タイプですから
considerate.
汗だくになってたケイちゃ
Kei-chan
んを
was
放っ
so
ておけなく
sweaty.
て
I
麦
couldn't
茶を
leave him
持
alone,
ってきた
so
わ
I
けです
brought him some tea.
ところでお姉は
By
な
the
んで
way,
麦茶を2つ
why
も
are you
持ってる
holding
んで
two
すか
cups of tea?
Mion's face went bright red as she tried to hide the paper cups behind her back.
Well,
これは
This is...
大雑把で自分さえ良ければいいお姉
there's
は
no way such a rough, timid, and good sister of mine would ever briskly bring a male classmate tea, is there?
結局何なんです
So what are they?
その2つの麦茶は
What are those two cups of tea?
これは
These are...
その
Right! I was just so thirsty, I figured I'd drink too.
かななんてお姉
Ah,
ら
that's
しい
so like you.
それい
Come on, chug, chug!
As Shion cheered, Mion downed both cups of tea, one after the other. Man, I feel bad for Mion. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like she's gonna stab me at some point because, you know, this is Higurashi. Let's be real.
さすがは
What a fabulous
お姉見
drink
事
that
な飲みっ
was.
ぷりでした
I expected nothing less from you.
ケイちゃんも拍手拍手
Kei-chan, you have to give her a hand too.
Wait, suddenly this situation has gotten unbelievable. Mion doesn't usually get manipulated so easily like that. I've known for a while now, but Shion is terrifying.
ミオンってシオンには
ミオン
頭上がらないのか？
You can't hold your own against Shion?
私シオン嫌い。
I hate her!
この前から
Lately, I hate her even more! Can we, like, not photograph whatever this, like, domestic dispute is? Just then I heard the snap of a camera shutter.
こんばんは。
Oh shit, it's you! I forgot you were in this plot. And also, not dead yet, because that's tomorrow. Good evening!
いよいよ明日がお祭り
The
だね。
festival's coming up tomorrow.
今日は準備お疲れさん。
Thank you all for your hard work setting it up today.
こんばんは。
I remember you from like the one scene you were in. I never got your name though, I don't think. Because you just like fucked off because you got demoned away or whatever that thing was.
Good evening.
あら、シオン。
Oh, Shion-chan.
珍しいわね。
It's quite unusual for you to come here.
ありゃ、富武のおじさま。
Oh, hey, it's Tomitaki and Tanako-san. Takano-san even.
こんばんは。ご無沙汰いたしております。
It's been a while, hasn't it?
いやあ、ケイチ君。
So you're that transfer student I've been hearing about. Keiichi Maibawa-kun, right?
今日は張り切って仕事
You
してた
really
ね。
did a bang-up
感
job
心した
today.
よ。
I'm impressed. I feel like I've seen this photographer guy before. Have we met before? The voice acting has disappeared, but I'm assuming that's just because of the patch that's may or may not have screwed it up, but we'll roll with it. I'm glad you remembered. Passed by many times on the road, Keiichi-kun. I'm Tomitake. I'm a freelancing photographer from Tokyo.
こんばんは。私はわかるかしら。
Good evening. Do you recognize me?
すみません。覚えがないです。
I'm sorry, but I don't.
高野美代さんだよ。
She's Mio Takano-san.
ケイちゃんはまだ風邪とかで。
Do you remember when you were at the doctor's office when you still had a cold, Kei-chan?
美代さんは。
Mio-san is one of the nurses who works there.
高野よ。
Call me Takano.
よろしくね。
I'm pleased to meet you.
治療に来るときは教えて。
Tell me when you're coming in for
止めの
treatment.
注射
I'll
針を
prepare
用
a
意しておく
huge
から。
needle for you.
それはご丁寧にどうも。
Well, that's very thoughtful of you. Tomitake-san seemed to be quite entertained at the Sonozaki twins being in the same place, and he took picture after picture.
いやー、一卵性ソ
Wow.
ーセージとは聞い
I
た
heard
け
you
ど
two are identical twins, but that really is something.
本当だね。
It really is quite something to see you side by side.
本当にそっくりなんだな。
You really do look exactly alike.
そっくりなのは外見だけじゃないんですよ。
We're not just alike on the
下
outside.
着もおそ
See? Our underwear matches too.
あんた何すんの。
Ah, this is a family dynamic. I'm not sure if it's safe or not. Yes, you idiot! What the heck are you doing? Things have never been as lively as when the two of them are together. I thought they were exactly the same at first, but I started to get a handle on which one is which. Mion is Mion, and Shion... Well, she seems to be a far better actor than Mion was. In the first place, someone that could spurn Mion so easily wouldn't have shown such weakness to those lard buckets at Angel Mort. That was the case, then the cowardly behavior from the day was all... It was all a complete act.
あの二人、昔はもっとそっ
They
く
were
りで
even
ね
more alike when they were little.
ご両親でも
I heard even
ど
their
っちが
parents
ど
had a
っ
hard
ちか
time
わ
telling
からな
which
く
was
て手を
which.
焼いていたそうよ。
That's really easy to imagine.
ご両親のご苦労が。
I totally understand what they must have gone through. Takano gave me a kind of an odd look, but explaining everything would have been a pain, so I didn't bother.
富武のおじさまはまた綿流しの
Tomitake, are you going straight back to Tokyo after get your pictures of the festival?
うん。本当はい
Yep,
つまでも
though
滞
I
在
would
していたい
rather
んだ
just stay here forever. Silly adult things, that's all.
お写真が早く素敵な
I
賞を
hope
取
your
るといい
photo's
です
win a
ね。
fabulous prize soon.
お祈りしています
I've
ね。
been praying for it.
Thanks. Next time I come, I'll bring the pictures I took of you all today.
今日は前原くんもお疲れ
Hi,
様。
Mara-kun. You did a lot of work today.
慣れない力仕事で
You must
疲
be
れたで
tired
し
from
ょ
all the physical labor you're not used to.
まあ、疲れたけど、
Well,
結構楽しか
I'm
った。
tired, but it was still pretty fun.
若さね。
Ah,
羨ましい
youth.
わ。
I'm so jealous.
Takano-san smiled with an adult elegance that no one in my circle of friends possessed. The wind caught her hair. She gives off an intelligent? Yeah. Why did I fucking struggle with that word? What the hell? She gives off an intelligent beauty.
おやおや皆さんこんにちは。
Why the fuck is the whole gang here? Anyone else we want to drag out? Also, not prepared to do the Sean Bean voice. I need more water. Oh, why hello everyone. It seemed like our merry crowd was standing out. This time an overweight older man addressed us. And again, it was someone I thought I knew. If I recall correctly, he's a policeman, isn't he?
あら、大石さん。
Ah, Oishi-san.
こんばんは。
Good evening.
明日の警備の支度
Doing a
です。
preliminary security inspection for tomorrow?
そんなとこ。
Something like that.
おや、
Oh,
富武くんじゃ
if
な
it
い。
isn't Tomitake-kun.
ご無沙汰しておりますね。
It's certainly been a while. I'm honored you remembered my name.
あなたもつくづく
You really do love Hinamizawa, don't you?
ここいらへんは東京より
The
も
apartments around here are far cheaper than the ones in Tokyo.
いっそ引っ越
You
して
should
く
just
ればいい
move here and get it over with.
仲のいい不動産屋
I know a
を紹介
realtor
し
I
ます
can introduce you to. I appreciate the thought. I'd very much like to follow up on that.
ではでは皆さん
Alright, everyone, have a good year.
園崎の双子
And
さんも
Happy New Year to the Sonozaki twins, too.
良いお年を、大石刑
Happy
事。
New Year, Detective Oishi.
お仕事よろしくお願いしますね。
We appreciate your work.
今年は皆さんの手を煩わせない渡流し
We'd
に
like
し
to
たい
end
で
this
す。
year's festival with the least amount of inconvenience possible.
こりゃ手厳しい
Well, that's pretty strict on me. Detective Oishi left us with a low laugh and headed off to talk to some police officers standing a ways away. I gave Mion a glance and saw her making an annoyed face as if she were glaring bullets at someone she hated.
そうね。
Yeah.
今年は
Hello.
警察のお世話にならない渡流しになる
Just
といい
close
わ
that
ね。
down.
It'd be nice if the police didn't have anything to do during Watanagashi this year.
Why are you not working suddenly? Or am I pressing shift again? No, you're just not working. Cool. Yeah, for some reason, Enter has decided to stop working, so I'm just gonna have to, like, try and put my mouse, like, as far off screen as possible and click through. So I apologize if you can see it peeking up out of the bottom. You like this place too, don't you?
あら、二郎さんは嫌い？
Oh? You mean to say that you dislike it, Jiro-san?
私、そういう夢のある話。
I quite enjoy such fantastic stories, you know.
潤いのない時代だからこそ。
Especially with the
そういうの
times
に
being
憧
so
れるの。
dry and uninteresting.
Curse of Ayashiro-sama, you mean? Buckle up, boys! Here we go again! Curse. Tomitake-san used a troubling word. Then suddenly, someone tugged on my arm.
ケイちゃん。
Kei-chan, I'm pretty hungry.
酒盛りのテント
Want to
に
go
行
to
って
the tent with the
お菓子でも
drinks and have
食べ
some
てこない？
candy and sweets?
そうだな。
I'm up for that.
俺もちょっとお腹
I've
が
got a
減った
little
から
hungry as well.
行こう行こ
Okay, let's go! A moment later, Shion said something to Takano and Tomitaki that stung my ears and gave me a start.
う。今年は誰が死んで誰が消えるんでしょうね。
I wonder who'll die and who'll disappear this year.
I pulled back from Mion's grasp and stopped abruptly.
シオン、今なんて言ったんだ？
Shion... What did she just say? It felt like the air around us dried out all of a sudden.
行こうよケイちゃん。
Let's go, Kei-chan.
つまんない話だよ。
I'm talking about something silly anyway.
お姉はまだケイちゃんに話してないの？
You still haven't told, Kei-chan?
私、そういう話は
I'll
突っ込
make
まな
a
い
point
人な
of
の。
not to spread stories like that.
Shion's cold and quiet tone and Mion's harsh voice were quite the contrast.
おいおいおいおい。なんだ
Hey, wait, hold on. What are you talking about?
知ってるなら教えてくれよ。
If you know something, then tell me.
俺だけのけ者なんて。
It doesn't feel right being the only one left out, you know. I don't understand this. Someone explain it to me. However, Mion didn't seem to be all that willing to grant my request. She squeezed my hand in hers a bit, but when she realized I would hold my ground on the topic, she let go.
じゃあさ、私先に酒盛りのテント
I'm
に行
gonna
く
go
よ
to the drinking tent first then.
早く来ないとケイ
Here
ちゃん
comes some Kei-chan, there won't be anything left for you.
なあ、分かってるって。
I get it already.
すぐ行くから。
I'll be there soon. Mion left, trotting towards a particularly noisy tent on the other side of the shrine grounds. Before she got there, she stopped and turned back around. I showed no signs of going after her, though, so she ran off.
もしも聞いてないんだったら話してもいいけど、
I could tell you if you hadn't heard, I suppose.
ひょっとすると
But it might be
聞かない
smarter
で
not
彼
to
女と
ask
一緒にお
and
菓子
go
を
eat
食べ
her,
に行った
go
方
with
が
her to
賢
eat
明かも
dessert.
しれないよ。
Hey now, you've already got my full attention here. I'm not gonna leave without asking at this point.
ケイちゃんにも聞く権利があると思います。
I think Kei-chan has the right to hear this too.
お姉はその権利を奪ってただ
My
けです。
sister was just stealing that from you.
Shion's voice was bristling with thorns, as if somehow blaming Mion.
一体何の話だって言うんですか？
What on earth are you talking about?
あんまりもったいぶられると。
I don't like people acting so self-important. Takano-san, realizing how prepared I was, looked across the group. After confirming there were no objections, she opened her mouth.
前原君はタタリを信じるかしら？
Do you believe in curses, my Bara-kun?
たたりですか？
Curses?
面白いとは思いますけど。
I think they're interesting, but I don't really... I felt their cynical stares and winced. It was like they were telling me it was stranger not to believe in curses.
ケイちゃんは間違ってないですよ。
You're not wrong, Kei-chan.
タタリなんて迷信もいい
Curses are just
とこ。
superstition.
信じなくて当たり前です。
It's only natural that you wouldn't believe in them.
そうね。
Mm-hmm.
それにタタリを信じるかどうかは
You can take all the
話を
time you
最
need
後
to
まで
decide
聞
whether
い
you
てから
believe in
ゆっくり
curses
考
after
え
you've
れ
heard
ばい
us
いこと
through.
なんだから。
Said Takano-san, giving a little smile. They're trying to scare me. At least, that's what it feels like.
じゃあ少し僕が
Alright, I'll start.
ケイイチ君は
Keiichi-kun,
南沢ダム計画を
do you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Oh yeah, the other day at Angel Moore, Shion, or Mion rather, told me all about it.
確かひなみ沢が丸ごと水没す
You
る。
mean that plan for the giant dam that would flood the whole of Hinamizawa, right?
その通り
That's right.
それに反対するために
Residents of the town
住民運
banded
動
together
が
to
結
fight
成
it,
され
and a fierce battle with the
国と
government
激しい
unfolded.
戦いを繰り広げたんだ
I heard that too. The entire village united, using all its power at their disposal. Mass media, political influence, and other things, and fought the country. The way Mion described it made it sound like a boast.
あれずいぶん詳しいじゃないか
Oh, you know quite a bit about it.
そうその通りさ
Yeah, you're right. It's practically an epic tale on just how 1,000 or so villages banded together and rejected the government's plans.
その辺はお姉に聞かされてません
Did
か
you hear this from my sister?
この辺りの武勇伝は
She likes those
お姉も
kinds
好
of
きですから
epics, you
ね
know.
あ
Yeah,
あ話してたよ
she told me.
そのひなみ沢の人たちが結束して旗揚げした
I was, however, in office for the Hinamo residents' opposition faction.
この神社なんだよ。
It was this shrine.
ほらあの集会所がそ
You
の
know the
まま
assembly hall? That's where it used to be.
解散後は老人会のサーク
Now
ル
that the
活
whole
動に
thing
し
is
か使わ
over,
れ
the
てない
senior
けど
citizens just use it for
当
group
時はまさに
activities.
最後の砦だったの
At the time, though, it was their last bastion.
Takano-san explained this, pointing a finger toward the assembly hall. I've been carrying things in and out of there all day. I mean, I would understand if they put like an office, if they put an office like that in the mayor's house or something. But having an office on shrine grounds made it feel kind of like a base camp for a Sengoku period warriors.
そんな心境だったんだろうね。
That was basically their mindset though.
彼らはひなみ沢の
Placing the main force in the shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama, Hinamizawa's guardian deity, was like a prayer for victory. Oyashiro-sama. That was definitely it. They mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse before. Is it the same Oyashiro-sama?
ケイチ君はお社様は知ってるかい？
Do you know about Oyashiro-sama, Keiichi-kun?
この神社の祀る神様の名前
It's the name of the god worshipped at the shrine.
ひなみ沢を守ってると伝え
It's
られ
said that he protects all of Hinamizawa.
いやよくは知らないです
Well, I don't really know much about him.
そうか。
I
い
see.
やあここから先は
I think
高野さ
Takano-san
んの方が
knows more about the rest.
タッチ。
Tag, you're it.
平たく言えばそのままよ
Well, that is generally the whole story.
お社様は
Oyashiro-sama is an ancient god passed down in Hinamizawa,
神聖な
and the other
神
villages say he's been
属性
protecting
に
this
汚され
sanctuary
る
from
こ
the
とがない
poisons of the outside
守
world.
り続けてきたと伝えられてるわ
So essentially, he's a basic standard guardian deity. I guess you can find that sort of god anywhere you go.
お社様崇拝は一種の
There's
先民
worship
思
into
想の
whether
表れではないかと
worshipping
研究され
Oyashiro-sama
てい
is a
るのね
manifestation of a kind of elitism too.
先民思想って言葉わかるかし
What
ら
I mean to say is that the worshippers might think themselves as chosen people.
Believing yourself chosen. A nationalistic belief that you are part of a superior race, or that you're a special clan chosen by the gods. They believe that they are a superior clan, so they also believe strongly in cooperating with others. But they also end up being exclusionary towards other clans. I won't go into too much detail, but it's sort of national and religious ideas that lead to war. Of course, that goes for Japan too.
大昔のひなみ沢の人たちは自分たちは
A long time ago, the people of Hinamizawa strongly believed themselves different from
信
humans,
じていてね
and that they were above them.
下界との交流を格
They
が
believed
落
that
ちると
interaction with
して
the lower
意
world
味
would
嫌さそう
sully
な
their
の
souls.
だから村に下界の人間が来ると不純が混じって
So everyone
お
believed
社
that
様の罰が
if
当
one
たる
from
と
the
強
lower
く
world
信じ
came to the village, they would be
何者も
sullied and
近寄らせ
suffer the
なか
wrath
った
of
そうね
Oyashiro-sama. Apparently that kept everyone away.
よそ者を嫌う村って
Villages that hate outsiders come up all the time in mystery novels.
典型的な
This is one classic example of a xenophobic village.
一応名誉のために断りますけど
Well, they'll live to
大
die
昔
to
のこと
assert
で
their
すから
pride.
ね
It was a long time ago after all.
今は違います
Things are different now.
Shion followed up quickly, having sensed the thorns in Tomitaki-san's words. Tomitaki-san, embarrassed at what he said, scratched his head. So this shrine worships Oyashiro-sama, thinks of Hinamizawa as a holy ground, and it's symbol of their traditional hatred of the outside world.
なるほど
I get it.
だから下界からやって
So
き
that's
た
why they chose the shrine of Hinamizawa's guardian spirit as the base of
南沢
operations,
の守り神様の神社
to resist the Sully Dam construction project that came from the outside. Correct. Smiled Takano, pleased. She must dislike stupid people.
円担ぎも万端。
Superstition, every last bit of it.
村人たちは
The village gave everything, desperate to oppose the dam construction.
その最中なんだよ。
I'm right in the midst of it.
事実上、
The
あの事件でとどめが
The
入った。
incident drove home the finishing blow. Oyashiro-sama's curse.
ひなみ沢ダムの建設現場の監督がですね、
The person
殺されちゃったんです。
managing the construction site of the Hinamizawa Dam was murdered.
4年前かな。
4 years ago, I believe?
結構派手に新聞
It
に
took the
載ったんで
newspapers
す
by
け
storm.
ど、覚えてま
Do
せ
you
ん。
remember it?
ちょっと知らないな。
No, not really.
部下と喧嘩して、ツルハシでめった
He had
打
a
ちに
fight
さ
with
れ
a
て、
subordinate and was beaten to
両手
death with
両
a
足、
pickaxe.
首思いで捨てられたんで
His
す。
limbs and head were torn off, and the remains disposed of.
バラバラ殺人だよ。
The construction manager was murdered and dismembered. Such a gruesome incident. But it was just that. An incident. A person caused the incident after all. Should they really put that down to a curse?
その翌年にはね、ひなみ沢の住
And
人
the
で
following
あり
year,
ながら
the man who had
ダム
organized
推進派
Hinamizawa's
のグルー
group
プを
of dam
結成していた
proponents.
男がね、旅行先で崖か
He
ら
fell
落ち
from
て
a
死んだ
cliff while on vacation and died.
これは事故だそうよ。
Apparently, it was an accident.
何しろ、ひなみ沢中から
Of course, most of Hinamizawa was hostile towards him.
警察もかな
The
り
police were all over the
念入りに監
case
察
like
の
as
線
if
を
it
洗ったんだ
were a homicide, but
結局
in
事
the
故と
end,
断
it
定
was
してみ
judged to
た
have been an accident. Now it's an accident. This is the most curse-like one, but it's still far-fetched.
さらに翌年、
And then on the next year,
今度はね、こ
this
の
time
神社
the
の
priest
神
of the
主さんが
shrine contracted
原
that
因
unknown
不明の
illness
病
and suddenly
で倒れて
died.
急死しちゃったの。
前の神主さんは、こう言っちゃ失礼ですけ
This
ど、
may sound a little
ちょっと
rude,
日和
but
見
the
の
old
人だっ
priest
たん
was a
ですよ
kind of
ね。
wait and see type.
村中が反ダムで盛
The
り上
whole
がってる
village
の
was in
に、
an uproar about the
神
dam,
主さんは
but
放って
he
おけ
just
み
kind
た
of
いな
didn't
感じで
seem to want to bother.
抵抗運動の象徴である
The
神社の
shrine
神
was a
主さ
symbol
ん
of the
が
opposition
そんな感じ
movement,
なん
and
だ
its
からね。
priest, well, his attitude worked against him.
リーダーシップを期待していた当時の村人たちは失望し、
The villagers at the time
中
had
には
hoped for a
怒りを
leader,
抱く
but
人たち
their
もい
hopes
た
were
そうよ。
betrayed. Some people were apparently pretty angry too.
だから当時、年寄り連中
So
は
at
み
the
んな言っ
time,
た
all
ん
the
です。
old people were like,
これは
This
親
is
代様の
Oyashiro-sama's
語りだ
curse.
ってね。
That's what they said.
It did seem like every year, dam-related people to the village had resentment towards were dying. It was pretty creepy.
しかもね、
Oh, and also,
面白いことに
it's
これら
interesting.
の事件や事故は
All these incidents and accidents will always happen on the night of the Watanagishi festival. What?
ね、
See?
ちょっとたたりっぽくな
Starting
っ
to
てきた
sound
で
like a
しょ。
curse now, isn't it?
さらに翌年、
Then the year after that,
つまり去年だね。
in other words, last year,
今度は事故死した
the
ダム推進
sister-in-law,
派
the
の
man
リーダー
who
格の
was the
男
leader
が
of the dam
弟夫
proponents,
婦
the
の
one
奥
who
さんが
accidentally died,
撲殺死体で発見されちゃ
was
ったんだ。
discovered dead, having been beaten to death.
もちろん犯人は
Of
捕まっ
course
た
they
ね
caught that criminal.
ね、
See?
やっぱりたたりっ
Really
ぽいでし
seems
ょ。
like a curse, huh?
4 years in a row. Each one of the incidents and accidents were relatively commonplace. But every single one of them happening on the night of the festival worshipping Oyashiro-sama? That's not normal.
年寄り連中は、この数年の事件ですっかり親代
The
様
old,
のたたり
the
を
old
盲
folks
信
have
し
been
ちゃっ
blindly
て、
accepting Oyashiro-sama's curse because of the incidents these past few years.
若い人たちだって
Even
最
younger
初は
people
バカに
too.
してましたけど、
At first they
今は
thought
誰
it
も
was
茶化し
stupid,
ませ
but
んね。
now nobody makes fun of it.
Yeah, I can see where she's coming from. Even me. Even if I didn't think there was a curse at all, thinking about all the incidents like this makes me feel like maybe it's real?
例えば今日のお祭り準備にしてもそうさ。
For example, just look at the preparations for the festival you're doing today.
ダムとの戦いで荒れていたとはいえ、
Everything might have gone
何年
crazy
か前
during
ま
the
で
battle
は
against the
渡
dam,
はそ
but
んなに盛況
just
して
a
いた
few
わけ
years
じゃ
ago,
ない
the Watanagishi festival was never this well attended.
まあそうです
Well,
ね
I guess you're right.
お社様のたた
If
り
we
の
didn't have
話がなかったら
Oyashiro-sama to talk about, we
こんな
wouldn't
に
be
お
coming
祭
to
り
the
には集ま
festival
りま
like
せん
this,
ね
would we?
不信心者には罰が当たるか
There's
も
a
し
lot
れ
of
ない
people who say that infidels
だから
may
お
be
社様
punished,
のお
so they
祭りに
really
は
need
必
to
ず
go
出
to
ようって言ってる
Oyashiro-sama's
人たち
festival.
多いです
Shion nodded as if she were mocking herself.
どうかな
So how about now?
ケイチ君もひょっ
Keiichi-kun,
としてタタリは本当
you're
に
starting to
あ
get
る
the
ので
feeling
は
that
という
maybe,
気になってき
just
たんじゃない
maybe
か
the curse is real, aren't you? I mean, you can't just laugh off people related to the dam construction project all dying like that. Even if I feel like this now, the more superstitious members of the village must feel stronger than that.
まあそれでも
Well, I
たたり
mean,
なんかないと
I
思
still
ってま
don't think there's a curse.
すですけど信じる人たちの
I
気
can
持ちも
understand those that
わかる
believe
つもり
there
です
is, though.
さすが
Wow, Kei-chan.
ケイちゃんは冷静に判断で
You
きて
can
ます
really
ね
keep a cool head about this.
Shion grinned, realizing I'd rejected the curse.
たたりでもなく偶然のはずもないなら
If it's neither a curse nor a coincidence,
これらの
then
事件はどういうこと
what
にな
should
るの
we
か
make
しら
of these
ね
incidents?
Takano-san said, smiling playfully as if posing a riddle. Neither a curse nor a coincidence. But every year someone dies. What should we make of that then? Tomitaki-san, catching on to the fact that I had no idea what to make of it, opened his mouth and came to my aid.
高野さんはね人間の仕業かもしれない
Takano-san is suggesting that it might be the work of real people. Eh? Simple process of elimination would have gotten me there. I was a little taken aback at not having realized the answer immediately.
だってそうでしょ
Well, think about it.
たたりでもなく
If
偶
it's
然
neither
でもない
curse
な
nor
ら
a coincidence, then people
人の
must be
意志が
willingly
働
carrying
いて
it
いると
out.
しか考えられない
There's no other. It's the only explanation, right?
Pressed Takano-san. I smiled bitterly in spite of myself. Here I was just a few minutes ago thinking the very concept of a curse was absolutely absurd. When she suggested it was someone's doing, I ended up thinking there wasn't any way it could be a person. But Takano-san was right. It was either a curse or it was a person's doing. Some realistic, it's if unrealistic things like curses didn't exist, and the obvious next step would be to start thinking it was people behind it. But if that was the case, I glanced at Shion.
人間が犯人なら確かにひなみ沢の誰
If
か
the
が犯
culprit
人
is
な
a
んでしょ
person,
う
they'd
ね
have to be someone from Hinamizawa.
現に警察の大
That's
石さ
what
ん
the
は
police
そう見て
officer
ますから
Oishi-san thinks right now too.
おいおい
Hey, wait.
そんなわけあるのか
That can't be. I thought I now knew the reason Mion didn't want to talk about this. If Oyashiro-sama's curse really existed, then that's fine. It would be divine judgment for the dam project business. However, if Oyashiro-sama's curse didn't exist, which it obviously didn't, the culprit would most likely be someone from Hinamizawa. The villagers have worked desperately to oppose the dam construction project. I knew they'd used all sorts of methods to fight against it. If one of those methods was maybe...
お社様のたたりはダム計画抵抗運動
People
の
whisper that
暗部じゃない
Oyashiro-sama's
かって
curse
ささや
could
か
be
れ
the
てる
doing
ん
of
で
a
す
secret group in the dam resistance movement.
Shion dryly put words to my exact thoughts. Of course, I didn't expect it. She was from Hinamizawa, so I didn't think she'd come out and say it herself.
ちょっと落ち着いて考えれば誰が見たってひなみ
If
沢
you
の
calm
誰か
down
の
and
仕業
think
だっ
about
てわ
it,
かるこ
anyone
と
would
です
come to the same conclusion.
ダム工事に反対して得
There
を
wouldn't
す
be
る
a
人以
motive for
外
anyone
動
but,
機がな
but
いじゃな
people
いで
who
すか
benefit from opposing the dam project, right?
それはそうだけど
I guess that's true. Admitting to the existence of a darker side of the dam conflict would be rude to Mion, who spoke so highly of it. So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint.
それにね、警察の人は知らないだろうけど、
The police probably don't know this.
ひなみ沢の人間にはわかる、ひなみ沢の人間の
There's
犯
proof
行
that
だという
someone
証
from
拠があ
Hinamizawa
るんです。
committed these crimes. The people of Hinamizawa know it.
Eh? What? Shion rebukes me to keep my voice down.
ごめん。
Sorry,
でもその証拠って
but this
一
proof.
体
What is it?
必ず一人が死んで、
It's the fact that
もう一人が
one
消える
person
からで
dies
す。
and one more person disappears.
One more person disappears? Did that mean that someone besides the one who died from the curse was a sacrifice?
消えるって意味がよくわからないな。
What do you mean by disappear?
それは失踪するって意味か
They。just vanish and you never see them again?
そうです。
That's right.
忽然と。
Suddenly,
Ato kata
and
mo
without
na.
a trace.
As she spoke, Shion pretended to do a trick with her hands like she were making a magician's hat disappear. One dies a mysterious death and one disappears, never to be seen again. A strange vanishing act. But then why? How does that equate to someone from Hinamizawa being the culprit?
実はね、
Well, actually,
ひなみ沢の古い伝
Hinamizawa has
統
this
の
one
一つにね、
really old legend.
お社様の怒りを鎮めるため
It's
に
about how people offer sacrifices to Oyashiro-sama to calm his wrath.
生贄
Sacrifices?
ええ、
Yes.
すまきにされて底なし沼に生
They
き
used
た
to
ま
wrap a
ま
living person up in a
じわじわ
bamboo
と
mat
時
and
間
let
を
them
かけて
slowly
沈
sink
めた
into
ん
a
です。
bottomless swamp.
Takano-san, though explaining something pretty terrible, had a look of glee in her face as she did so.
文献を調べた限りでは3日3晩をかけ
As
て
far as I can glean from the
本当
literature,
にゆっくり
it actually
と
took 3 days
じわ
and
じ
3
わと
nights for
沈め
them
た
to
そうよ。
sink.
ほら、
See?
昔の人って
Even
結
people
構
a
ダジャレ
long
が好
time
きでし
ago
ょ。
like symbolism.
沈める。
As the
沈
body
めるを
sunk,
かけてたんだと思うの。
Oyashiro-sama's anger would be quelled.
だから時間
Both
を
were
かけて
submerged into
沈
the
め
deep.
るという意味があったんでしょうね。
Takano-san was the only one laughing at this. Was she telling a joke or something? Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a presence... Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a difference in temperature between her cool expression and Takano-san's.
この辺の話は、まあ聞いて想像がつくと
This
思
whole
いますけど、
conversation.
ひなみ沢の秘史
Well,
で
I
す。
think you can imagine after hearing it, but it's the secret history of Hinamizawa.
ひなみ沢に昔からいる人なら誰でも知って
Everyone
ま
who's
す
been
が、
in Hinamizawa for a long time knows it, but they don't talk about it.
高野さんはひなみ沢
Takano-san's not from here, but she knows quite a lot.
彼女は郷
She
土史
really
とか
likes local
民間伝
history,
承とかが好き
folk
で
legends, stuff like that.
全部独学で調
She
べ
learned
た。
about it all by herself, too.
そんなにかっこいいものじゃ
I'm
ないの
really
よ。
not all that amazing.
単なる知的
Just
好奇
curious,
心。
that's all.
子供と同じよ。
Like a child.
ただの怖いもの見たさ程度な
I
んだ
just
か
want
ら
to。see scary things for the fun of it.
Yes, hello, that is me right now. Tomitaki-san laughed, a little bit embarrassed.
ちょっと待ってください。
Wait a minute!
ってことは何ですか
What does that mean?
事件のたびに
You're the person who
消えるという人
disappears
は
during the incidents.
生贄に捧げら
You're
れて
saying
い
they're
る
offered
ってい
as
う
a
んですか
sacrifice? Yeah. Shion answered in one word before anyone else could speak. Someone dies and someone disappears.
本当に生贄にされてるかどう
Well,
かは
whether
別
they
に
actually
して
get sacrificed or not is a different issue.
過去の事件では必ず
But every time
一人
something
が
happened in the
死ぬことに
past,
一人
one
が
person
消えてる
died and another person disappeared.
例えば一番最初のダム現場の監
For
督が殺さ
example,
れた
the
事件も
first one where the dam
複
site
数
manager
犯
was
のうち
killed.
の最後の一人
Apparently
が
one of the people
未だ逮捕
responsible
さ
for
れて
that
ない
still
らしい。
hasn't been arrested.
それは単に
Couldn't
うま
that
く逃げおおせてるだけなんじゃない
couldn't
ん
that
です
just mean he managed to get away?
か別に生贄
I
に
don't
され
know
た
why
と
we
いう
should
のと
treat him as a
違うのでは
sacrifice.
まあ僕もそうだと
Well,
は
that's
思うんだけど
basically what I think too.
で次
It
の
was
年
also
の
the
ダム
year
推進派
afterwards,
のリ
but
ーダー
the
格の
leader of
男
the
なんだ
dam
けど
proponents.
確か旅
You
行先
said he
で
fell from a
崖から
cliff
落ち
and
て
died
亡く
while
な
on
ったんです
vacation, right?
落ちたのは奥さんも一緒らしいの。
Apparently, his wife fell as well.
警察は懸命に
The
捜
police
索したんだ
investigated
けど、
fervently, but
どうして
they
も
were
奥
never
さ
able
ん
to
の遺
find the
体だ
wife's
け見つけ
corpse.
られないんですって。崖下の川は増水してたそう
The
だか
river
ら
under
ね
the。cliff was actually pretty high at the time, though.
どこか
She
川
could have
下
just
の
been buried
湖
under
の
the
湖
sand
底
at
で
the bottom of some
土砂
lake
にでも埋まっ
downstream
て
or
しまったの
something.
かもしれないけどね。
Perpetrated with a dismemberment like that wouldn't want to get caught, so they'd be desperate to run away and hide too. I thought I'd heard about cases where the corpse wouldn't surface after the person drowned in a swelled river like that. She vanished because of an unfortunate accident, but I still didn't see the connection to sacrifices. If you took each of the past incidents in turn, none of the disappearances evoked that terrifying an image.
その翌年の神主の病死の時ははっきりしてます。
The year after that, with the police suddenly falling ill and dying, is much clearer.
奥さんが遺書を残したんです。
His wife left a suicide note.
死んでお社様のお怒りを
They
鎮め
found
に
it
参
in
りま
that
す。
house
って
the
な
night
感
the
じの
priest
が
died.
神主さんが
It
亡
said
くなっ
something
た
along
晩
the
に
lines of
自宅
her
に残さ
quelling
れてたそうですか
Oyashiro-sama's
ら。
wrath through her death.
The curse. It seemed to turn up in this one, though.
まあ真相は闇の中なんだけど
Well, we
ね
may never know the truth of the matter.
その奥さんが受水自殺した沼
The
は
swamp the wife
さっき
drowned
高野さん
herself
も
in
話
was
した
the giant
例の
bottomless one
でっかい
Takano
底の
mentioned
島ってことに
before.
なってて警察も沼を調
The
べたそう
police
だけど
investigated it, but they could all they could find were several of her possessions. They never found the corpse.
警察は偽装自殺を疑って
The police
今
suspect it was a
探してる
fake
らしい
suicide, and they're still investigating it now. Someone dies every year, and in the same way, someone goes missing every year. Is she trying to tell me that everyone who vanished was kidnapped by some extremely efficient means and dumped in the bottomless swamp? Still alive and drowned to death? But a curse? That's unbelievable in its own right.
その翌年には
And the next year?
ダム推進
What
派
was
の
it? The
男の
dam
弟夫婦
proponent's
の奥さん
sister-in-law?
だっけが殺されたんだ
She
な
was killed. So at that time, someone else vanished?
消えました。
Someone did disappear.
北条聡君っていう
There was a boy
私と同い
around
年
my
の
age
男の子
named
です
Satoshi Hojo.
殺された主婦の
He's
義
the
理の
nephew
甥に
by
当たりま
marriage
す
of the woman who killed.
Shion cut in with a slightly strong tone of voice. She knew the boy had disappeared pretty well. At least that's the vibe I was getting.
まあざっとこんな感じね。
Well, that about sums everything up.
必ず一人が死
One
んで
person always dies,
必ず
and
一
one
人が
person always
突然
suddenly
と消える
disappears.
Leaving the suddenness aside, the fact was that each incident involved one person disappearing.
じゃあ、
So that means
一人目が死ぬのはお社様の
first
方
person who dies is because of Oyashiro-sama's curse,
村人
and
が
the second person who vanishes is because the villagers sacrificed them? Is that it?
ケイちゃん、
Kei-chan,
たたりなんかないです。
there is no curse.
誰かがお社様のたたりという名で一人目を殺
Somebody
し、
killed the first person
誰
under
か
the
がそ
guise
の
of a
生贄と
curse,
して
and someone
二
takes
人目
away
を
the
さらって
second
るんです
person to be a sacrifice.
でもシオンそれじゃあ
Shion, that means the criminals in the
犯人
village.
がいるってことになるんだぞ。
私は初めからそう睨んでま
That's
す。
what I've been guessing from the start.
結構ショックですよ。
It's pretty shocking though, you know.
この昭和の時代に
We live in the
そんな
Showa
古い
period.
飲酒で人殺しが
It's
堂
kind of
々
hard
と
to
行われ
believe
る
people
な
are
んて
committing murder like it's nothing. Using some ancient justifications, huh?
Didn't have anything to do with our discussion, but I got the feeling that maybe Shion didn't like Hinamizawa very much. Mion enjoyed talking about Hinamizawa and its epic tales, so she had avoided talking about Oyashiro-sama's curse, which didn't paint Hinamizawa in a good light no matter how you looked at it. She was trying not to give me a bad impression of the village, so she didn't say anything. Shion, on the other hand, was somehow different. She wasn't rejecting the concept of a curse to purge Hinamizawa of this bad impression, but rather because she strongly believed that a member of the village was the criminal behind this. Her conviction seemed a bit removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hinamizawa. Once upon a time, they looked so alike you could mistake one for the other. But talking to her now, I was getting a powerful feeling that Shion had a completely different personality than Mion.
じゃあ皆さんはひなみざわの
Then everyone
誰が
else.
犯人だと思ってるんですね。
They all think someone from Hinamizawa did it, right? Neither Shion nor Takano-san answered that. The deafening silence told me all that needed to be said.
じゃあ重ねて質問します。
Then let me ask another question.
ひなみざわの誰かが犯人なら
If someone from Hinamizawa is the culprit, then who is it? Neither Shion nor Takano-san had a reply to that question either. Though it may have been rude to ask, I'd hoped they wouldn't have one. The reason I asked was to argue that their explanation that the culprit was from Hinamizawa was nothing more than one possibility. Sorry, it's getting late and I'm falling over my words. Shion caught on to my plan. She gave me a pained smile at my petty spite and opened her mouth to speak.
私が言ったのは所詮状況証拠ですか
All
ら
I
ね。
said really just amounts to circumstantial evidence anyway.
具体的に犯人の名前を
If
知ってた
any
なら
of us already
警
knew
察に
who
突
it
き出してま
was,
す。
we'd have gotten the police, got him into police hands already.
As would anybody. Then what about Takano-san? She too smiled dryly as Shion had opened her own mouth.
ね
Well,
初めに誤解を解い
I'd
て
like to
おきたい
clear
ん
one
だけ
thing
ど
up.
別に私
I'm
は
not a
探偵さ
detective
ん
or
のつもりは
anything
ない
at
の
all, right? I'm not a detective or anything, alright?
本音を言うとね
In all honesty, I'm
犯
not
人が
really
誰か
interested
な
in
ん
who
て
the
ことには
culprit
興
is.
味ないの。
高野さんも困った人だな。
Takano-san, you sure are a handful. Tomitaki-san gave a bitter laugh at her surprisingly honest opinion on the matter.
私はね
You see,
古式ゆかしい
I just like
残
cruel
酷
and
な風習や
and
おとぎ
atrocious
話に
ancient
興味があ
traditions
る
and
だけ
fairy tales.
知的好奇心で面白がってる
I
だけ
only enjoy them from the curious onlooker's perspective.
だから一連の事件も
So even for this
犯
string
人
of
が誰かってことよ
incidents,
りも
it's not so much finding out who the culprit is, but enjoying thinking about how the old traditions displayed by the incidents themselves still seem to have some pretty deep roots around here.
Though she described herself as nothing more than a curious onlooker, her smile was as sharp as the tip of a blade. Women like her felt very strange and a little scary to me. Yeah, why are they all so into true crime? Like, what the hell? Maybe it's just that I was in fearful awe at the person whose emotions I couldn't comprehend.
ま、私は全然面白
Hell,
く
I
ない
don't
です
think
け
of
ど
any
ね
of。this is interesting at all.
明日はいよい
The
よ綿流
Watanashi
しのお
festival's
祭り
coming
で
up
すけど、
tomorrow.
誰
But
に
I
も
don't
死んで
anyone,
ほしく
but
な
I
い
don't
し、
want anyone to die
誰
or
も消えてほし
disappear.
くないです。
明日か。
Tomorrow, huh? That's right. It completely slipped my mind. The string of murder incidents that people attributed to Oyashiro-sama's curse. It wasn't over. If last year's incident wasn't the end, then tomorrow night at the festival, someone would die and someone disappear?
明日は一体
I do wonder who will die tomorrow and who will disappear
誰
though.
が消えるのかしらね。
Takano-san said, running a comb through her hair with elegant movements, but a thin smile and a voice that nearly made me shudder. She almost looked like she was enjoying the thought of the incidents that could happen tomorrow. Then out of the blue we heard a loud round of applause. They seemed to be ending the drinking party early. Right, I was making Mion wait this whole time, wasn't I? I should go back to her soon.
高野さんもからかいすぎだよ。
You're teasing this kid way too much, Takano-san.
ケイチ君がすっかり真に
Ah,
受けてしまったじゃ
Keiichi-kun
ない
thinks it's all true.
ごめんなさいね。
I apologize.
また悪い癖が出
It's
ちゃっ
that
た
bad
みたい
habit of mine again.
Said Takano-san, sticking her tongue out bashfully. The strangeness in her expression was nowhere to be found.
高野さんはね、純粋そうな
When
子を見ると
Takano-san seems an innocent child like you, she can't help wanting to poke fun at them. It's a real bad habit.
ケイチ君が真剣に聞いてくれるもんだから
Keiichi-kun, you listen to everything so earnestly that she ends up getting carried away. Unlike Takano-san, Tomitaki-san seemed like a totally normal person with common sense. They were apologizing after they realized what kind of impression they'd given me.
高野さんが今した話は
The stuff Takano-san just said is all fiction.
もしもさっきの話で
If you made you harbor any bad impressions about Hinamizawa, then we apologize for it.
純粋に申し訳なく思うよ。
もう二郎さん
Jeez, Jiro-san.
高野さんも謝った方がいい
You
よ。
apologize too, Tanako-san.
怖がらせてしまってご
Tell
め
him
んな
you're
さい
sorry for scaring him. Takano-san and Tomitaki-san were arguing and messing around now. The strained air around us had already dissipated.
ケイちゃんもそろそろ戻った方
Kei-chan,
がい
you
いで
should
す
get going soon too.
お姉は嫉妬深
Mion
いで
is
す
the
からね
jealous type.
私は
If she
顔を
sees
合
me,
わせ
she'll
ると
probably start
喧
a
嘩にな
fight,
り
so
そう
I'll
だ
just
か
be going
らこのま
home.
ま帰
そうなのか
Really?
じゃあ俺はミオ
Then
ン
I'll
の
go
とこに
do
戻って
then I'll go see what Mion's doing and apologize for making her wait, I guess.
迷惑をかけたね、ケイチ君。
Sorry for being such a nuisance, Keiichi-kun.
ミオンちゃんに
Could you tell
ケイチ
Mion
君を
we're sorry
長
for
く
bothering
借り
you
すぎて
so
申し
long?
訳ないと伝えてくれない。
あはい
Yeah.
伝えても
I don't think
電話に出さないと
telling
思い
her
ま
will
すけ
make
ど
her feel any better, but sure. Tomitaki-san and Takano-san, standing next to each other, both began to chuckle.
じゃあねケイちゃん
Okay then, Kei-chan.
明日のお祭り
Let's try and run
どこかで
into each
すれ違
other
え
at
るといい
tomorrow's
ですね
festival.
会えるよ
We'll see each other.
どうせ俺たちのことだ
I mean, it's us we're talking about after all.
賑やかにやってるに決まってる
We'll be making so much trouble it'll be hard for you to not find us. Shion and I said our goodbyes to Tomitaki-san and Takano-san. Before we could leave, Takano-san called out to us.
私の話を真剣に聞いてくれて
Thanks for
ありが
listening
とう
so earnestly to what I had to say.
前原くんがあまりに
You're
聞
just
き
so
上手
good
だ
at
ったん
listening.
で話してて
I had a
とても
good time
楽しかった
talking to you.
聞き上手なんて
Good at listening? No, not at all. I was just in a state of perpetual bewilderment from all the shocking topics being thrown at me one after another.
今日した話面白かった
Did you like my story today?
まあその
Well,
興味
it
深かったです
was pretty interesting.
ならまた今度も
Then I'll
聞
tell
い
you
てく
some
れ
more sometime, okay?
ひなみ沢の昔
There's a lot
話
of
とかおと
pretty
ぎ話
interesting
にも
legends
興
and
味深い
fairy
もの
tales
が
about
たくさんある
Hinamizawa.
のもちろん
Of course.
薄気味
A
悪いの
lot
が
of
た
strange
くさ
and
ん
creepy
ね
ones too.
私特選のを
I'll choose a bunch of my
たくさん披露するわよ。
favorites and tell you about them.
I was kinda happy, but kinda worried. I can't help but smile dryly and scratching my head.
ケイチ君、もう行ってもいい
Keiichi-kun,
ん
you
だ
can
よ。
go now.
高野さんがからかってるだけさ
Takano-san's just messing with you. They said goodbye again and run off. I heard Tomitaki-san call out behind him in a clear voice that we would see each other at the festival tomorrow. When I went into the tent where Mion was waiting for me, and she was nowhere to be found. I made her wait so long. Maybe she got mad and went home. After asking some adults passing by, I heard that she went home, talking to some relatives. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But my regret for having made Mion wait wasn't enough to triumph over the impression Takano-san and Shion's uncanny story left on me. Serial murder incidents that happened 4 years in a row. Would tomorrow's events make this a fifth? And the possibility that someone from Hinamizawa was carrying this all out under the guise of the curse. The queer tradition of ritual sacrifice, entirely unbecoming of the Showa period we lived in. I regretted it a little, though it was too late. If none of those creepy stories had anything to do with me, then I should just let Mion pull me away from that crowd. I felt a little ashamed about my cheap curiosity getting the better of me. God damn it, Keiichi-kun, you really should stop listening to strangers tell you weird stories. That's a lot of notes! Jesus Christ. Also, I got a Steam achievement, but I don't think that's showing in the recording. I got a little elbow grease. Never hurts to put some in, does it? Anyway. God, it kind of feels good to be back. Maybe I'll actually, like, finish this before the year's out. You know what? That's what I'm committing to. Mouse, get off screen. I'm gonna try and finish this damn, like, chapter before the year's out, so I can start, like, either chapter 3 or in the new year, or, no. Maybe move on to something and come back to Higurashi after a break. Like, you know. Like I need any more breaks for this goddamn game. Anyway. Thank you all for watching this episode of Higurashi. If you like the video in any capacity, please feel free. Give the video a like down below. Leave a comment on whatever you feel like at this point. And if you want to keep up to date with whenever I post videos, be they of this, Inscription, Amori, anything else that comes out of my goddamn head, I have many plans. It's just putting them into action takes a lot of time and effort. And I have very little of those right now because life is very tiring. Yeah, if you want to keep up to date with whenever I post anything, feel free to subscribe to the channel. In theory, YouTube sends you alerts when I post the videos, but we all know that that's a lie. Yeah, other than that, I have a Twitch channel. You can follow me. Links in the description next to where my Twitter is. Or by the by. This doesn't matter because you probably, like, turned off the video already. Because that's the sensible thing to do. Anyway, doesn't matter. Thank you all for watching. I've been Nix, and I'll see you on the next one. Laters!